Good evening and salutations, my B&B fans. Huh. I felt like this episode was literally the exact same episode from Friday. Almost beat for beat. Brooklyn turning down Hollis for like the, I don't know, fifth and ninth time. Um, because she's not ready to sit there and date. But my whole thing is, her and Taylor made this whole pact about, you know, both of them not being with Ridge and to put their friendship, first. But I'm like, but Brooklyn, but Brooke, how are you gonna do that if you're not out there? Like, she was so tempted to sit there and sleep with Ridge and be with Ridge. And I'm not saying that she has to just throw herself at the first man that she sees, but I'm like, there's a saying: the best way to get over someone is to get with someone else, is to be with someone else. And I'm like, you're sitting there talking about Hollis like, oh, he's good looking and he's this and he's that. And I'm like, but you don't want to be with him. I'm so sure at this point, I think that one, if or not both of them, are going to sit there and break this stupid pact. And I say it's a stupid pact because, one, they're not going to have three of them. Like, somebody, I feel at this point, is going to have to go out with Ridge. If it's not Brooke, it's going to be Taylor. They're not going to sit there and have those three be single. They're just not going to do it unless they bring in three new characters for them to all date. I don't see that happening. So this pack that they did was clearly not going to last. You know what? Now that I think about it, there was a lot of people listening to saying that this was a stupid pack to begin with because it was never going to hold up. I haven't been watching B&B as long as other people have, so I was like, maybe I was kind of naive and kind of dumb about it. But looking back at it now, I was like, yeah, I don't know what the hell I was thinking. They're gonna break that pack. Um, I don't understand the point of Liam having this same constant conversation with Thomas about, trying to reassure him that nothing's gonna wind up happening. I'm like, bro, we've been at this for about 3 days. And no matter what Thomas says, you're not going to like his answer. So guess what? At some point, he goes to Steffi because Hope asked Steffi to talk to Liam, to try to reassure him that nothing's going to happen bad between Thomas and Hope. I'm like, didn't we just have this conversation like twice now? So what? We're gonna have this conversation again where Steffi tries to once again reassure Liam that nothing bad is gonna happen, that Thomas is gonna be on his best behavior. Like, and that's literally what up happening in today's episode. I'm like, sometimes when I'm watching this show and I see things like that, I'm always sitting there thinking, how is it? Because I gotta imagine on some sort of level, maybe on a sadistic level, like these people that I was writing this stuff is like, yeah, we don't have to see him for like 2 or 3 days, but whatever. They'll watch it anyway. Because there's people that will sit there and be like, B&B is the best soap opera. I love B&B. I'm a huge fan of this. And I'm just like, how are you a fan of these repetitive ass scenes? Scenes where I'm just like, even the writers know, the directors, the people that make this show knows that they didn't show the same scene for like 3 and 4 days. And either they're really stupid and sit there and think that people are just okay with that, or they know it and they just don't care at this point. And I think it may be a bit of both, to be honest. And then there's the same dialogue, the same conversation between Hope and Thomas. Thomas went there praising Hope, talking about she's perfect and she's this and she's that, and she's a good mother, and she stepped in when Caroline died, or whoever that chick name was, and, hoping like, oh, well, I'm not perfect or whatever, and, it's hard to be a good girl sometimes, and I'm just like, I feel like at this point, they should just put like a clock at the bottom. Just put like a countdown at the bottom for when those two hook up, because we all know it's coming. We all know it's coming. And this episode felt like incredibly short for some odd reason. And I think it's literally just because it was the exact. Maybe it was just short because it was like. I feel like I'm just also zoned in and out. Because I felt like I've heard this stuff for like 3 or 4 days and not anything changed. So it's. Sometimes I watch this show and I'm just at awe. Like with GH, my expectations are much higher. Of course, they managed to always sit there and disappoint me. Most of the time, last week they were actually killing it. But when B&B, it's like my expectations are just so low that anything that they do, that's remotely interesting, then I'm just like, oh, you guys actually got me to wake up for a minute. This episode was just, you could have skipped it. I mean, if you saw, seriously, if you saw Friday's episode, if you saw any episode from last week, it was pretty much just like this episode today. Nothing changed. Nothing really mattered. Nothing of importance really happened. We're just there. Um, I feel like that's pretty much about it. I don't really know what else to say. Is nothing else really happened in this episode. So, like always, if I did miss anything, I was gonna sit there and say, let me know in the comment section below. But you can let me know in the comment section below. Also, I'm gonna be sitting there talking about tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, as I do all the time. So if I did miss anything, you want to sit there and hear my thoughts, we'll sit there and talk about it during that time. I want to thank you for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.